Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Aldina, and I am the creator of Divinely Healing. And I wanted to start off by saying that healing is very hard and it takes a lot of time. And I think that we forget that because we just want to go from point A to point B as fast as we can. We want things to change for us overnight. And that's really just the ego putting a time limit on things and making it seem like that overnight change is necessary when in fact it's not. There is so much beauty in the journey itself. And to have that journey in the first place is a blessing to be able to get from one place to another to the place that you want to go so badly. It is a blessing to have that journey in between. And healing is not linear, as I've said multiple times before. It's more of a spiral. Think of life as a spiral, and it starts at the center and it's constantly going outward. And a lot of the times, in that spiral, you're going to revisit things from the past, but it's going to be different because you are constantly evolving and growing. And so while you're in this spiral, you're going to revisit things from the past, right? I want you to think about what a spiral looks like. It starts right here in the center and then it goes outward. And in certain parts of that spiral, you're going to go through similar events from the past, or maybe even be in the similar headspace that you've been in the past, or have some feelings come up that you've felt in the past that you still need to work through. And that is how you evolve, and that is how you keep evolving. So I don't like to see healing as a linear thing because some days are going to be absolutely terrible, and then some days are going to be the greatest days of your life. And that is just a part of the journey. And you have to take every single one of those days and you have to accept them for what they are, because every single day that you have is trying to get you closer to the person that you say that you want to be, to the life that you say that you want to have. Whether that be the most mundane day where you do absolutely nothing, those days are just as important as the days where everything is falling apart and it feels like you can't get through it. It feels like you're not going to make it. So do not get discouraged if it seems like you're going backwards, or it seems like you have 5 good days in a row and then the sixth day is absolutely heart shattering and you have so many emotions coming up for you and you just don't know what to do about it. That pain that you're feeling, it has to be felt. You cannot bypass anything while you're healing. There's no way to skip any part of the healing process. And it's going to be different for everybody. But no matter what, you have to feel the pain that comes up. You cannot pretend that it doesn't exist. You cannot think that you can just skip that part and that you'll be better. Because chances are, if you skip it, it's just going to come back again later. And it's very normal to feel pain. It's very necessary to feel that pain because there are a lot of people out there that have not been allowed to feel the pain. Maybe they've been punished as children for showing their feelings and crying, or maybe they've never had a safe space to be open and to feel their emotions. And a lot of the times, a lot of people have not learned how to understand their emotions and how to work through them. And so because we have all of these ideas and thoughts in our subconscious that were formed when we were younger, we hold on to so much. We hold on to so many fears, and we hold on to a lot of learned behavior. And we're honestly not even aware of it until it's really comes up. But a lot of the times you may think that being open and that crying and feeling your emotions means that you're going to get punished for them. And that is not the case. That may have been the case when you were a child and maybe you never felt safe. And so now, as an adult or a teenager, whenever you are experiencing these intense emotions, you don't let yourself really get into them. You don't let yourself really feel them because you're afraid of being punished. It will feel scary to feel that pain. It will feel uncomfortable, but I promise you that you have to feel that pain, because after that pain is when the wisdom comes. After that pain is when you see the light and you can see the reasoning for the things that have happened in your life. You can reflect on the things that have happened in your life, but you first have to feel that pain, because a lot of us have not allowed ourselves to feel it. Instead, we have tried to skirt past it and skip it entirely because we're afraid of what's going to come up. But there is nothing to be afraid of. You cannot feel afraid of the emotions that are going to come up. They have to be felt in order to be released. So feel the pain that's there, release it, allow yourself to be that child that you once were, and cry. Cry it all out, scream it all out if it's necessary, and then keep going. And a lot of this comes back into shadow work and your subconscious side, the hidden side of who you are and your beliefs that were formed throughout your life, that behavior that you have learned throughout your life, the thoughts that you have absorbed from other people, authority figures in your life as you were a child, and it hides deep in your subconscious and you're not even aware of it. But that shadow side that we all have within us, the dark side that can take over our relationships and our behaviors and can possibly even make life harder for us because we're so resistant to it. We are so ashamed and we feel guilt for the part of us that we hide from the rest of the world. But that part of you, that subconscious side that you have that is holding all of your traumas and all of your pain, all of your sadness, all of your anger, or whatever it is shaping your reality. It's shaping your relationship with yourself and with the people around you. It's responsible for your attachment styles and the way that you view things and the way that you see the world. And that is why it is so important to do shadow work. And shadow work is going to be so different for every single person. I personally have found so much comfort and so much of my inner side shown to me through journaling. And I do have some shadow work prompts available on my blog at divinelyhealing.com. So you can check that out if you maybe need some help getting started with it. But other than that, there are so many available prompts all over the internet. So you can really just do some research and see which questions resonate with you and which ones can really kind of get your feet wet in that shadow work so that you can start healing that subconscious side of you that you are so afraid of. And the whole point of shadow work is to let that dark side of you come to light. It's not so that you can point fingers at it. It's not so that you can make yourself feel bad. It's so that you can hold space for that part of you that maybe they're has never been space for that part of you. Maybe you've just kept trying to block it out and you just kept trying to ignore it. And because you were ignoring it, it kept nagging you all the time. It kept coming forward and affecting your relationships and affecting your life in a negative way because you were so resistant to it instead of just allowing that side of you to come to light so that you could love it, because that's all the shadow side wants. It wants to be loved and it wants to be understood, just as you have always wanted to be loved and always wanted to be understood. The shadow side feels the same way. No one talks about what it's like to have a side of you that you feel ashamed of. Nobody gives you the steps to love that side, and instead they just teach you to hide it, to suppress it, and pretend like it doesn't exist. Which is why I've never believed in fake it till you make it or any of the toxic positivity crap, because those traumas that you've had, that pain that you've had growing up, the behaviors that you've learned, the words that people have said to you that have been engraved in your brain and followed you throughout your entire life, those are very real and they exist. And I don't care if it was something that other people would consider small, it doesn't matter because it had affected you and it had stayed with you and it had changed the trajectory of your life and it had made you close yourself off to the world and be ashamed of the person that you are. So it doesn't matter if it's the smallest thing, it doesn't matter if it's this huge thing. Your trauma is your trauma, your pain is your pain, regardless of how big or small it is. So I don't believe in any of that fake it till you make it because your subconscious runs your life. I can sit here and I can tell myself all day long that I am the best person in the whole world, that I am so successful and have everything that I want, that I am so loving and so happy and so all of these things. But none of that matters until I'm working on my subconscious, until I'm healing the old wounds that are coming up, because that is what is controlling your life. That is what is changing your frequency and your vibe and your energy, is your subconscious. So, again, it is important to say those things about yourself all the time, to reaffirm it all the time. But in addition to that, it is important to work on your wounds and feel the pain that is coming up and hold space for yourself and show yourself the love that maybe you have never felt before in your life. So if you have not done any shadow work, I highly, highly recommend it for every single person on this planet. It's still important to have that relationship with every part of you and to love every single part of you. And then lastly, I just really quick wanted to talk about the purging stage of healing because I have not seen a single person talk about this, and I think it's incredibly important. After some time of healing, after you've done shadow work and you understand yourself better and you can see your wounds and you can shine a light on them without feeling quite ashamed of yourself anymore, there's going to be a period or periods of time where these things are going to keep coming up, where you're going to have these very intense emotions that make you feel like you are going backwards, when in fact it means that you are going forward, that you are again continuing outward in your spiral of life. It is going to feel very soul crushing because at this point, you're going to start feeling better. Things are going to start looking a little different for you. Your mindset has changed. You have more love for yourself. You feel more confident in yourself. And a lot of the wounds that you had before, you feel like aren't really a big issue anymore, or you feel like you can work through them in a better and more effective way for you. And then when you feel that way, you're going to get these periods of feeling like complete crap. You're going to want to cry a lot. You're going to want to scream, and you'll probably even be angry, which was a big one for me. These are just the remaining emotions that are still stuck in your body that you are still processing and that still need to be released. This is just like the little remnants because, again, healing is not linear. These things are going to keep coming up for you in life. Unfortunately, they will, but that's how it works. Because the whole point of this is to learn yourself, is to learn what your wounds are, to see how they have come up in your life and maybe the kind of patterns that you've had in your life so that you can see how to work through those things effectively for yourself. Okay, so that you can spot these issues right away, so that you can feel when something is off for you, maybe in a relationship, maybe at some kind of event or whatever it is, but you will feel a shift that won't feel right for you energetically. And you will know those things are not for me, but it takes time to get there. And so, because of that, you will constantly have these things come up for you throughout your entire life because they will be situations that mirror the past situation, or you'll have feelings that mirror past feelings that you've had. But now, after all this time, you have the tools that you need, the knowledge that you need to work through them and to, no matter what, accept yourself for the person that you are and love yourself regardless of the things that are going on around you. And that is why healing is so important. And this healing journey has been quite interesting for me. I went from being a total mess and crying myself to sleep for, I don't know, months, to being so at peace and connecting with myself and connecting with nature. I felt very at peace. It felt like I was coming home. And then recently, I've had these lessons that have been, again, a mirror to things that have happened in the past, but I dealt with them differently in a way that made more sense to me and my being. And it's funny because I caught these things before they even happened because, like I've just previously said, the shift in energy, I felt it immediately and I knew it. And I came at it from a different way. Instead of being aggressive, instead of being angry, and I was more compassionate with myself. I've rectified the situations and I've still been holding space for myself. So, again, things are going to feel weird. Okay. We're still learning, and it's so important throughout this entire process to be patient with yourself and to not force yourself or put too much pressure on yourself to do things immediately. It's going to take time to learn, and that's okay. Don't be so attached to a time limit. Unfortunately, for some people, this healing process will take years. For others, it won't take as long. Again, it depends on how severe the things that happened to you were to you. Okay? Not how severe it was in general, but how severe it was to you. So don't compare yourself. Don't look around and see how other people are and what they're doing and why their life looks different than yours. It looks different because you are on completely different journeys. That is why you cannot compare yourself to other people in any situation, because people learn things differently. We all have different journeys. We all have different lessons to learn. And so don't worry about other people and what they're thinking of you and where they're at in their journey, because it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with you or your journey or your lessons. So please be patient with yourself throughout all of this. If you have any questions at all or you need any advice at all, I am always available to talk. You can always email me or reach out to me on my social accounts. I am truly grateful for all the support I've received from so many of you, and I really do appreciate all the people that reach out to me and all the people that feel comfortable and safe enough to reach out to me and ask for advice or ask for any tips on anything. It truly does mean a lot to me, and that's one of the main reasons I started my channel in the first place. So, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it all. Please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys again very soon. Peace.